Hello and welcome. Welcome to Live at the Breakfast Table. I'm joined by Kat Tepylo Murphy from Social Cat Media, familiar face around town and online, of course. Thank you for joining us this morning, my friend. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
I've had you on my roster for a little while, so I was pretty pumped to be able to reach out and secure you for March. ChamberAM is happening next week, Tuesday, March the 9th, 8 a.m. And Kat is going to be our special speaker, sharing knowledge, experience, that brilliant brain of hers. And we just thought we would sit down today. In the meantime, Kat Tepylo.
Tiffany, good morning.
Social cat media brilliance. I'm glad you let me pick your brain today because I do have a few questions for you.
I'm looking forward to it. And I think it's good. We're starting off the month of March. It's like spring is in the air. I'm feeling good.
My birthday's in 30 days. That's what I always think every March 1st. I'm like, oh, there it is. Here we go. Spring is coming. The first question I always ask business owners in Peterborough: why did you choose to do business in Peterborough, Kat?
Good question. So I'm from Quinte West, so small town. I went to school in Toronto thinking that, like most 18-year-olds, I'm going to leave small town, I'm going to go to the big city. And 1 week later, I was like, what did I do? I don't like the big city. But thankfully, my now husband, then boyfriend, went to Trent University. So I got very familiar with the GO train, GO bus to Peterborough. And by the time I was in my fourth year of university, I was basically coming to Peterborough every weekend to leave the city. And I just loved it here. I loved Trent, the campus, just being in the on the water, really gave me small town vibe. So after my husband and I graduated school, we decided to stay in Peterborough, and he's from Quinte West as well. So we both just fell in love with Peterborough and decided to stay here.
Nice. I agree. It's not too big. It's not too small. There's enough to do. You still get some city vibe, but there's also that kind of town connection, right? Where everybody takes care of each other. My favorite part, anywhere in Peterborough takes 15 minutes. One side of the city to the other, 15 minutes. Don't complain about parking, easy peasy.
Yeah, it's amazing. And we love obviously the last year's been a bit different, but there's always stuff going on, the weekends when we'll go to the farmers market and then walk to the Dragon Boat Festival and shop downtown. So we're looking forward to that being back in our life soon. And also just we all love going for hikes and walks and taking our daughter out into nature. So the fact that we can just drive 20 minutes and be somewhere really cool is something we love.
It's got a little bit of everything, eh?
Yeah.
Just had to chuck something at my dog who was just making some noise over there. Sorry about that. Yeah, exactly. I thought, oh, I hope she doesn't bark. We're all getting used to that though. So you're a social media guru. You really are. I've been following you forever. You always share your content is on fire. I find it's really digestible. It makes sense. Even when I'm reading updates and I don't quite understand what's going on, I'll flip over and see what you've put out about it to make it understandable. So please help me. There are so many scheduling apps out there, and I see this question time and time and time again. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to pin down the guru today and ask you, out of all of the scheduling apps out there, Hootsuite, you name it, which one's your favorite and why?
I get this question a lot. It's a good one. It really depends on your own workflow and what you like to look at best. So, and it depends on what you're scheduling for. So in terms of all-in-one schedulers, doing Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, my favorite is Buffer. They have a really good the company itself is really cool. They've always been remote first. All their employees are remote. They're super open. They share their profit and information, their financials every quarter to see what they're spending money on, how much they made. So super transparent as a company. and I really like their platform. So in terms of like all-in-one scheduler, my recommendation is Buffer. And it's like always evolving. Like they have really good analytics tool they added on. They have like an engagement tool they added on to help you like do all the community management side. In terms of like smaller scale, so like a Facebook and an Instagram or just Facebook, my two favorites. So one is Creator Studio, which is right in Facebook. Yeah. And like, it wasn't my favorite to start, but they have some really good capabilities that they can do that other ones can't. So like with Creator Studio, you can schedule a carousel post for Instagram with like multiple images, which you can't do on any other scheduling tool. It won't auto post. So like that's a huge bonus of Creator Studio. Creator Studio, you can also write alt text for Instagram. So in terms of like accessibility of social media, you can add like the image descriptor right in Creator Studio. So it's probably the most like robust one. And you can schedule for Instagram and Facebook, which is great. It's fairly user friendly because it is like Facebook. It's similar user face as Facebook or interface. So yeah, I really like Creator Studio. I also really like Planoly. It's like Instagram first. You can schedule for like Facebook and Twitter in it, but it's really designed for Instagram. So it's like visual first. So like you add in your photos, you can rearrange them and move them around. So you can see what it looks like as it was your Instagram profile, like the order of photos. So it's pretty good. Those are my two, and like both Creator Studio is free within Facebook, which is great. So Facebook, Instagram, you can do everything for free. Planoly has a free plan that's pretty good. And then it has like a paid one with more features, but those are my two favorite for like Facebook and Instagram. If someone's like just getting started scheduling, I'd say like, hey, try Creator Studio first because it's free. It's already, you don't have to download anything else, and play around with it and just get used to like the idea of scheduling content in advance. And then you can play around, like if there's one that you like more, you can kind of take it to the next level. But Creator Studio is the one I usually recommend the most.
Excellent. Yeah. And I like, there seems to be less friction when cross-posting videos, especially, right? It picks it up, and yeah, because that was always a problem. Of course, I know a lot of people, I named one of them earlier for Hootsuite, and I know a lot of people have broken up with Hootsuite, of course, because they just couldn't move with the times. And
yeah, I just don't find the most user-friendly. Like I've been in it, of course, but like it just, in terms of even just like the look of it, like it doesn't make me feel good when I'm in it. So like I definitely think like it has to be something you want to do. Like if you're going to be consistent, it's like you gotta like the process. So with Creator Studio, I like the process. It's really user friendly, and then I like Planoly because of the visual aspect, how you can lay things out and see how it's gonna look.
Excellent. And if you've been stuck in the same old and you're still using Hootsuite or maybe something that maybe isn't behaving as well as it could be, like Kat said, give Creator Studio a try something new. You'd be surprised because it definitely helps, especially with the geotagging and locations, adding Peterborough to all of your posts. Of course, we all know that's important. But yeah, excellent. Good to hear. And I haven't actually heard of Planoly.
Yeah, Planoly, like PLAN, plan and OLY.
Oh,
Planoly. Yeah. So that's my other go-to, like just for Instagram. That's my kind of go-to. You can also push things to Facebook, but I schedule Facebook separately. Also, what you can do in any scheduling tool, which is great, you can tag PTO Chamber in all your photos when you schedule them in advance. So you'll still be able to tag the chamber in all your photos when you schedule.
Excellent. I love it. Yes, we will share your content. I appreciate your insight, especially as somebody that manages mass volume of social media, to see what you're using and what you find works best. So I very much appreciate you answering that question for us. When it comes to social media platforms, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, what's your favorite? I feel like I know what your favorite is already.
Yes. I feel like I do talk about it a lot. So I think one thing that's really important to think about social media is that like it's obviously so important for business, but in order for us to be successful on it and to like put the time and effort into it, it has to be something we like. So it is really important to find the platform that like you enjoy the most and focus on it and like go for it. Like find your niche, find your local audience and really engage there. So my favorite's Instagram. So that's where I spend the majority of time. As a user, I actually really like TikTok. And I deleted it off my phone because it was getting like, I'm like, oh, I just watched an hour of TikTok videos instead of doing the dishes. So I appreciate that platform. And then like, I like the Reels integration into Instagram in terms of that type of content. But as a business owner, as a content creator, I like Instagram the most, just in terms of like the wide variety of content we can create on Instagram, from like graphics to videos to the reels, photos. So it is like, I find it really creative in terms of how we can use it. I also like just the ability to connect with people. Like I find it way easier on Instagram to find new people to follow or to see new content, like through hashtags or geotags, as you're mentioning, like to be able to see like what are people in Peterborough posting and just clicking that tag, where it's a lot harder on some other platforms to kind of search that way. And I really like the community aspect of Instagram.
Yeah, you're right. They do. There is that sense of community too, and followers are really behind the accounts that they follow, right? And you see a little bit less, I think, negativity, maybe a little bit more inspiration. Like if you can sort of avoid the negativity a little easier and be in the space that you want to be on that platform. So didn't surprise me that it was Instagram, but interesting to hear why and kind of where you come at from it. Were you an early adopter of Instagram? Were you on there as soon as it kind of came out?
It's funny. So like in terms of my age, I got Facebook way before like I was supposed to. My sister was in university. I was in grade 7. So 2007, I was on Facebook. And of course, like you get those like Facebook memories. It's like Katarina Tepylo is getting ready for school. I'm like, wow, that was really worth sharing with the world. So I've definitely learned like by doing through the years in terms of like social media. And I'm trying to think when I would have gotten Instagram. Definitely early. I don't even remember when it came out, but it's definitely something that's been a part of my life, like personally first, just as a user. And then when I was in university, started experimenting more so with like hashtags and like creating content like specifically for Instagram and like growing a following and just connecting with people. Which I thought was really cool. And when I was getting married, like looking at cool people to follow and getting inspired. So a lot of it was just by like learning while doing, just experimenting with it and like seeing what people were doing and kind of just evolving as the platform has grown. Like I definitely was like, my first posts were just a photo with like an Instagram filter and a couple words and silly hashtags. So it's really cool to see like that progression like growing as the platform has.
I agree. It is. It's remarkable to see how it's grown. When I started, I was at a spa when Instagram started, and so I was elated because we worked on our social media. Like as soon as it came out, we were a spa, right? So we knew what was cool and what was coming down the pipeline, and so we were on top of it. And of course, we were on top of Instagram. And I will never forget how. And I still I get excited about social media and what I'm posting and content, right? And I remember doing like behind the scenes of like shots behind the scenes, doing pedicures and things like that, kind of before it became mainstream to show all of the behind the scenes.
So yeah, you're leading the curve there.
Well, because we just I watched, right? Like, because there was no educators out there on what it was, so I just went to all the top spa accounts and I saw what they were doing and was like, okay, what should we do in Peterborough? And I sort of, mimicked and followed and found inspiration. And
it's a great strategy,
right? Yeah. And we, with leaders like you too, right? Like, and I mean, especially now when everybody's bombarded sort of by information and there's so much information out there, how do you find what is working and what's not. Accounts like yours are amazing to fall across, right? And to even hire you and bring you on and call you and say, this is what I want, make it happen.
Yeah, and I think like there is so many things that it can be a little like overwhelming, like Instagram, just as an example, like you can do a post, you can do an IGTV, you can do a reel, you can do a story. Like it is a little overwhelming in terms of options. So it's just about like playing around, and like you don't have to do everything, and you shouldn't try to do everything on every social media platform. It's like impossible to do that. So it's about like experimenting, seeing what other people are doing that you like and that you think that you would enjoy in your business, and just experimenting. Like nothing, we can't wait until perfect. I think there's like, we see people who have been established on a platform for a long time, and then it's like, well, my post won't be like that, so I'm just gonna wait. But like even for example with reels on Instagram, which is like the TikTok integration, my first reel is so bad, like so bad, and I probably got like 300 views of it, maybe. That was like within the first couple of days that reels was out, so Instagram was really pushing it out, and so I didn't get a ton of reach with it. Where I had a reel last week, I don't know what it's at right now, but it was over 13,000 views. So like, yeah, your first one might not be the best, but you got to keep working on it and keep experimenting and trying new things, see what other people are doing, and like building upon it. And yeah, so my biggest suggestion is like, don't wait. Like just dive in and try things and experiment and see what's working.
I think you're right. Waiting for it to be perfect is not the right move. Put yourself out there. Like, you go out in public and nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't, worry about that online either. Nuggets of gold in this conversation today. I cannot wait for you on ChamberAM next week. You're in Peterborough. How long have you been in Peterborough, Kat?
Full-time since 2017, so 4 years, but 4 years part-time when I was in school, I would say.
A little bit longer than that. We'll say 10 years.
Yeah.
I have a question for you about shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has a favorite place to go in Peterborough, favorite place to eat, favorite place for curbside pickup. Where are you shopping these days and where are you eating?
So many good places. That was one of the things I loved most about Peterborough is like in university, there was always somewhere new to go and eat and hang out. And that's something we're making effort like throughout the pandemic to support local. So like once a week, we have like a little date night, like after my daughter goes to bed, since we can't act like we're pretty hermity. So we're not going out to restaurants, but we're ordering in. So one of our favorite restaurants of all time is Dr. J's. And that started supported the Trent rugby team, which my husband was involved with. So that was always our go-to place in university, and that our love has continued since then. Like just the smoked meat and barbecue food is our favorite. So that's our go-to. But then they're like every place in Peterborough is so good.
It is. We have good food here. What about retail? Where are you having your retail therapy these days?
Always Watson and Lou is my go-to. And then I love Lavender and Play and Bellies and Babies for all the kids stuff that I'm always buying.
I love Sonia and Sarah at Lavender and Play. Honestly, amazing work, those two. And
yeah, that like their pivot and like it's remarkable to think about like a year ago today, and then like the changes they've made in a year. And we actually have a toy rental from them, so it's like some of the bigger pieces of climbing equipment and things they would have had like in the play cafe, like when you went there to play. Obviously that's not happening right now because of the pandemic. So there's like a subscription. So every month we swap out toys. So right now we have this awesome pickler climber. So it's like a triangle with like a ladder on both sides, and that has like a slide attachment. It's a beautiful wooden toy. And so like my 2-year-old loves it, is obsessed with it. So like every month we go and we swap out the toy, and we have all these cool different climbing toys and like sensory equipment. So we love it.
clever. So clever that over there. That's awesome. Lots of businesses being shout out in this interview today. I love it. One last question before we let you go for Live at the Breakfast Table. ChamberAM, Tuesday the 9th, 8 a.m., of course, on Zoom. What are you going to share with us? Can you just little teaser, just a little snippet?
Yeah, and it's something that people, if you've been following me on Instagram, have seen me talking about a little bit, and something that I'm getting like super passionate about over the last, like, I don't know, year, pandemic wise, has to do with like our mindset with social media and setting boundaries. Because it can, like, social media can sometimes get to be like a negative space as a business owner. Like, we're worried about our followers and what we need to do to grow. And I really have been focusing on like flipping that narrative and making social media a positive place. And like, I have a bunch of strategies I'm excited to share and some different tips and tricks about how we can kind of set those boundaries so that when we're in social media, it feels good. We're getting things from it. We're feeling good when we're using it, instead of it being kind of like something we have to do or something we're not like super excited about. Really want to focus on like the positive of it and making it a thing that we look forward to, and not something that we're like, darn, I need to go on Instagram and post. It's like, that's something you look forward to in your day.
Excellent. I'm pumped. It's going to be good. Healthy boundaries are a big deal in real life, in work, and on social media. Huge deal. Burnout is very real right now. And especially keeping up with business, keeping up with times, you're spreading yourself everywhere. So we're going to have advice, tips, tricks from Kat Tepylo. Kat, I'm grateful for your time today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It was great to chat with you as always.
Excellent. Register. We will get you registered for the event. ChamberAM. Follow Kat, Social Kat Media, Instagram, Facebook, you name it, find her. And Kat, before I let you go today, anything you want to say?
Thank you. I'm excited to be at the virtual ChamberAM. And like, obviously I'm super passionate about social media and spend a lot of time on it, but I'm also really excited about the time I spent away from social media. So I'm really excited to share that with everybody.
Awesome. Excellent. A little bit of a different side of you. Can't wait to have you. Get registered, everyone. Tuesday the 9th, 8 a.m. See you on Zoom.
See you there.